Imagine this. A woman walks onto a stage in London wearing a red ball gown. Thousands of people are screaming her name. They call her the Cryptoqueen. She smiles, she waves. She promises them that she will make them rich beyond their wildest dreams. And they believe her. Why? Because she already made some of them millionaires. At least, that's what they think. But here's the truth. That woman, Ruja Ignatova, was running one of the biggest scams in history. She convinced millions of people around the world to invest in a cryptocurrency that didn't actually exist. She stole more than $4 billion. And then, one day in October 2017, she boarded a plane in Sofia, Bulgaria, and disappeared. Forever. The FBI put her on their most wanted list. Interpol is still looking for her. But nobody knows where she is. Some people think she's dead. Others believe she's living in luxury somewhere, protected by powerful criminals. This is the story of how a brilliant, charismatic woman built an empire of lies, fooled millions, and became one of the most wanted criminals on the planet. Ruja Ignatova was born in Bulgaria in 1980. Her family wasn't rich, but they valued education. When Ruja was 10 years old, her family moved to Germany, looking for better opportunities. Ruja was smart. Really smart. She studied law at one of the best universities in Germany. Then she got a PhD from the University of Oxford in England. She spoke multiple languages. She knew how to talk to people. She knew how to sell ideas. But Ruja didn't want to be just another lawyer. She wanted power. She wanted money. She wanted to be remembered. And in 2014, she found the perfect way to get all of that: cryptocurrency. At that time, Bitcoin was becoming very popular. People were making millions by investing early. The idea was simple: a digital currency that nobody controls, no banks, no governments, just technology and trust. Ruja saw an opportunity, but she didn't want to create a real cryptocurrency. She wanted to create something easier, something she could control completely. She wanted to create a fake one. In 2014, Ruja launched OneCoin. She called it the Bitcoin killer. She said it was better, faster, and safer than Bitcoin. She promised that anyone who invested early would become rich. She traveled around the world, speaking at huge events, wearing expensive clothes, acting like a billionaire, and people loved her. They trusted her. They gave her their money. OneCoin spread like wildfire. Ruja didn't just sell a cryptocurrency. She sold a dream. She told people in poor countries that this was their chance to escape poverty. She told people in rich countries that this was their chance to become even richer. She created a network of promoters who would recruit more investors. It was a pyramid scheme, but nobody called it that. They called it multi-level marketing. The events were massive. Thousands of people gathered in stadiums to hear Ruja speak. She walked onto stages like a rock star. Music played. Lights flashed, people cheered. She told them, "You are not just investors, you are part of a revolution." And they believed her. By 2016, OneCoin had millions of members in more than 100 countries. People invested their life savings. They sold their houses. They borrowed money from family and friends. They were convinced that OneCoin would make them rich. Some people at the top of the pyramid were actually making money because new investors kept joining. But the money didn't come from any real business. It came from new victims. Ruja lived like a queen. She bought penthouses in London and Sofia. She wore designer clothes and expensive jewelry. She partied with celebrities and politicians. She even bought a yacht and named it Davos after the famous business summit in Switzerland. Everything was perfect. Or at least, it looked perfect. But behind the glamour, things were falling apart. A few people started asking questions. Where is the blockchain? Every real cryptocurrency has a blockchain, a public record of all transactions. But OneCoin didn't have one. Ruja and her team said it was private, that it was safer that way. But that was a lie. There was no blockchain. There was no real cryptocurrency. OneCoin was just a number on a screen that Ruja and her team controlled. In 2016, a Norwegian man named Bjorn Bjerke started investigating OneCoin. He realized it was a scam and tried to warn people. But most people didn't listen. They were too invested. They wanted to believe. Then authorities started paying attention. In the United States, the FBI began investigating OneCoin. They discovered that Ruja was running a massive fraud. They learned that OneCoin had no real value, no real technology. It was all fake. The people who thought they were investing in the future were actually just giving their money to Ruja and her partners. In early 2017, Ruja's brother, Konstantin Ignatov, warned her. He told her that the FBI was getting close. He told her they needed to stop. But Ruja didn't stop. She kept promoting OneCoin. She kept taking people's money. Maybe she thought she was untouchable. Maybe she thought she could keep lying forever. Or maybe she was already planning her escape. On October 25, 2017, Ruja Ignatova boarded a plane from Sofia, Bulgaria to Athens, Greece. She had a ticket, she had luggage, she had bodyguards. But when the plane landed, Ruja was gone. Nobody knows what happened. Did she get off the plane? Did she change her identity? Did someone help her disappear? Nobody knows. A few weeks later, the FBI issued an arrest warrant for Ruja. They charged her with wire fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering, but it was too late. She was already gone. Her brother Konstantin tried to keep OneCoin running, but in March 2019, he was arrested in Los Angeles. He pleaded guilty and agreed to cooperate with the FBI. He told them everything. He explained how OneCoin worked, how they lied to investors, how they moved money around the world. But even he didn't know where Ruja was. The FBI offered a reward of $100,000 for information leading to her arrest. Later, they increased it to $250,000. Interpol issued a red notice, asking every country in the world to help find her. But still nothing. OneCoin officially collapsed. Millions of people lost their money. Some lost everything. There were reports of suicides, broken families, destroyed lives. The scam had reached over 175 countries. It was one of the biggest financial frauds in history. So, where is Ruja Ignatova? Nobody knows for sure, but there are many theories. Some people believe she was killed, maybe by the mafia, maybe by someone she betrayed. In 2018, a Bulgarian crime boss named Christoforos Amanatidis, also known as Taki, was murdered. Some investigators think Taki helped Ruja disappear, and that she might have been killed too. Other people think she's alive. Maybe she had plastic surgery. Maybe she changed her name. Maybe she's living in Russia or Dubai or somewhere in South America, protected by criminals who helped her launder the money. The truth is, with $4 billion, you can buy a lot of protection. In 2022, the FBI added Ruja to their 10 most wanted list. She became one of the most wanted criminals in the world. But even with all the resources of the FBI, Interpol, and police agencies worldwide, she remains a ghost. The lesson here is simple but painful. Greed can make people blind. Ruja didn't just steal money. She stole hope. She convinced people that they could change their lives, and then she destroyed them. And the worst part? She got away with it. At least for now. The story of Ruja Ignatova is a warning. In the world of cryptocurrency and fast money, not everything is real. Just because someone looks successful doesn't mean they are honest. Just because thousands of people believe something doesn't mean it's true. OneCoin had no blockchain, no real technology, no future. It was a lie from the beginning. Millions of people lost billions of dollars. And the woman who caused all this pain is still free, somewhere in the world, living a life we can only imagine. Will she ever be caught? Maybe. But until then, she remains a mystery. The Cryptoqueen who vanished into thin air. If you found this story shocking, hit the like button and subscribe to Capital Sins for more stories about business failures, frauds, and corporate disasters. And tell me in the comments, do you think Ruja is still alive? Or do you think someone silenced her forever? Let's discuss. See you in the next video.